Today we're joined by Dr. Oscar Mloa, and I'm sure most of you remember him. We talked about circumcision, we talked about cholera, all those things. And yeah,
It's been a minute, yeah?
it has.
Been a minute.
And today we want to talk about sleep. In fact, not we. He wants to talk about sleep.
Well,
I'm just
you
here to
joined
learn.
me.
I'm just here to learn.
Okay.
So, why did you choose sleep? Why do you want to talk about sleep?
Well, really, when sleep is one of those underrated things.
Yeah.
I like to call sleep as that everyday vacation that you and I need.
Ish, I swear.
Yeah. And sometimes we feel like we should have more time in this world. And when we're saying more time, we usually exclude the time for sleeping. Would want more time to do our work. If we could actually manage to thrive even on just an hour or two of sleep, many of us would go that route.
Yeah.
But really, that's bending the candle at both ends.
Mm-hmm.
And so, sleep, even though seems as though we're in a state where we're inactive and doing nothing,
Yeah.
that's really the time when our body is doing a lot for us. Okay. It's you know how when you go to the bank during the day it's all busy and all, and you think when you stop or when the doors are closed and everything stops working. No.
Yeah.
They remain sorting out the numbers, the mess, and
Yeah.
so that when you come back the following day, things are in top-notch shape.
Yeah, because
And that's what sleep does to your body.
when you hear that the bank closes at 14 hours, you'd expect that even the bank tellers are like knocking off at 14 hours.
Like, why are you still at work when
yeah,
people are not
like
there?
like what are
Yeah.
you doing? Yeah, but you're talking about if people could thrive on 1 or 2 hours of sleep, then they could. How many hours are recommended?
So really, people say there's no one size fits all. But I would say that with a pinch of salt because when it comes to sleep, even though there are individual variabilities,
Yeah.
so ideally for an average person, teen, young adult, you need sleep of about 7 to 9 hours. Babies, on the other hand, do need even more, probably 16, sometimes even up to 18 hours. And because their growth rate or the spat is at a higher rate than ours. And so, as any machine that uses a lot of energy, that is working a lot, needs a lot of degreasing afterwards, so do babies and younger children. For adults, 7 to 9 is just about enough.
I think that should tell you something that for a baby to grow, they need to sleep.
Yeah.
Like, I think most of the growth would take place when they're sleeping. Then you also notice that people who are sick, they sleep a lot. Is that like the body trying to heal itself? I always think in those lines. Like, your body is kind of like shutting down other systems so that the repair can happen.
Okay. Well, yeah, so there are a lot of factors that really determine how long you are going to sleep. Sometimes ill health can make you bedridden, but there's a catch. You might be in bed and yet not asleep. So even what appears to the common man, to the naked eyes, as someone falling asleep, really is just someone lying in bed. And I'll probably touch on that even as we go further, because really, when you're sick, your whole mechanism is fatigued. Okay, and the best repair works happen when you shut down the system. Uh, Rarely will you see any industry start doing repairs when everything is up and running in full throttle. You have to shut down some departments so that you have room enough to come and sweep off the dead. And when you're sick, really, the whole system is overrun, is overworked. So you need some repair works. You need to tone down and get the system to clean itself up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the average shops, when they're doing stock taking, you find that the shop
Oh yeah, sure.
is closed. And everyone has this circadian rhythm, right?
Okay.
Of sleep,
Oh yeah.
right? Where your body usually, like if you sleep at night, at 21, maybe by 21 hours, you start feeling, sleepy and whatnot. But then there are people who have jobs like ours, where there's some...
We tell people to sleep and we do the opposite.
Yeah, where there's some days where, you're required to be up, maybe even for 24 hours. Sometimes it can even be like 36 hours. You haven't had any sleep. How dangerous is that for someone? Or in short, I'm just asking, why is sleep important? Why is it important to have this regular pattern of sleep, and you have like let's say on average about 6 hours of sleep?
Yeah. Even before I answer that question, I think I came across um, some statement by someone say, look, you shall rest in the grave. And in fact, I use it quite often with my friends. When we've got due dates, you need to finish up a certain consignment and everything like that.
Tukalala
ngatwafa. But then someone corrected and said, look, you actually sleep earlier. And what he was really saying, look, if you don't get enough sleep, death is crawling faster to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And just a bit of backdrop on sleep. So sleep has got phases.
Yeah.
And it's governed by what you just said, the circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
There's also what you call homeostasis of the body. So there are certain areas in your body that control sleep. So let me first talk about the different parts of sleep. So sleep is divided into generally two sections. So there's what we call REM sleep and non-REM sleep. So REM simply means random eye movement, and non-REM obviously means non-random eye movement. So usually you start with non-REM. Okay, so non-REM is divided into three parts. So there's N1, N2, and N3. So N1 is the first phase when you sleep. And so this is where you're just getting into sleep. It's light sleep. So it's that part you just fall asleep. So it's your heart rate starts going down, your metabolism starts going down, your respiration starts going down, and you're arousable in this state.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you go to N2. So the only difference in N2 really is the degree to which N1 has moved. So you are slightly deeper, but not as deep. You're halfway really, and your heart rate goes even lower, and your breathing rate. Then N3 is what we call deep sleep. Okay, this is where you're dead. If we call out your name, if a thief comes at that time,
you're gone.
Your chairs are gone. In fact, if you've heard of stories where someone they've stolen everything, they've even his clothes, and he didn't hear anything, and he's shocked, and they say witchcraft. Anyway, so that's your N3. That's like the nada or sleep, the lowest moment.
Yeah.
And this happens in the first few minutes, and within 90 minutes or so of your sleep. Okay, and so then you go to REM sleep. So really, you switch between your non-REM and REM within like an hour and a half, and so you're constantly switching. Yeah, but REM mostly occurs in the later part, second half of sleep. So if you had to divide that 7 hours, let's say you sleep at 9 p.m. to probably 6 a.m. So the half of that, probably most of it will be your REM part. So you have most of your dreams in your REM part. Okay, this is where now in your REM part, you are not as deep as you were in your N3. Okay, and so this is where your body now. So in your N, you're almost excluding. So in N3, you're almost excluding external stimuli, but the REM part, you allow some external stimuli to affect you. Okay, you're not as deep as you were, and so so had your body not developed a mechanism to almost paralyze your muscles, you would actually start acting out your dreams. Okay, so if you're dreaming of eating, you would actually start putting your hands. And probably this is why others even sleepwalk, and the like. So ideally, there must be a disconnect from what's happening and your body itself. Okay, so that you do not act out your dreams. Otherwise, that would be a bit of disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you would not want to know the end of the story. And so, what controls your sleep? So I'll start with the homeostatic level. So there are certain chemicals in your body that promote sleep and that inhibit sleep. So I'll just talk about one really, adenosine. So it's so this hormone or this chemical really, as it increases, it makes you start feeling sleepy. So as your body mechanism is working, your body knows that now it's time to go into rest mode. So when you're very tired, as the day is going, your body is tired, so that chemical starts to go up. And that is what happens when it's getting late. All of a sudden you start feeling like, I need to rest.
Yeah.
Getting tired. That's a chemical in your body telling you you need to shut down.
Need to rest, yeah.
Okay. And so what happens, as you get rested enough, that chemical begins to reduce, so that now you start having energy to wake up, because you need energy to wake up.
Yeah.
So you start feeling a bit refreshed, energy and the like. And that's how you have energy to wake up in the morning. Then you've got the circadian rhythm. So this is a biological clock that is mainly affected by light. Okay, so through your eyes, even blind people do experience that, because light still, they've developed a way in which they can still appreciate the light even if they're blind.
Yeah, because also there are different levels of blindness. Apparently, some can see like shadows, some can see figures, and there are some who can't see anything.
Yeah, so for them, so what happens as the light starts to dim, there's what we call melatonin.
Yeah.
So it starts to go higher. And as it goes higher, it also starts telling you need to what? You need to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to shut down. It's like you're starting to lock the gate, the doors, the windows, the curtains, pulling them together. That's what melatonin is doing. And as the day breaks, as it starts becoming brighter, it also starts reducing and also starts telling it's time to what? And that's why you notice that no one wakes you up at 06 or 05. You just find yourself you're awake.
Yeah.
So the melatonin helps you awaken. Now the homeostatic drive also gives you enough energy to actually wake up. And the paralysis is released from you. Remember the REM, so that you have energy to wake up. And that is why, so you asked what is the importance of sleep.
Yeah.
So really,
and then the danger of having night shift.
Yes, so it will be easier to say the danger when we know the importance of sleep.
Yeah.
So sleep, first and foremost, helps you. So first, it's good for cognition. It helps you sort out information, because throughout the day we've been gathering stimuli and everything. It's more like a time when you repackage the information. Okay, so that it becomes even more useful next time. Okay, so it improves your memory, your collection. It improves even your social well-being, your social balance. And also it improves your immunity. Okay, I'll not go into the details. There are hormones that are secreted, cortisol and everything, that dampen your immune system if you do not get enough sleep. Okay, so that's why you are prone to flus, people having flu, malaise, everything like that. And that because you're not sleeping enough, you're not getting you're getting hormones that dampen your immune systems. They're not clearing them out. Sleep helps to clear out toxins from your body. So there are chemicals such as there's one particular culprit for poor memory and probably Alzheimer's disease, especially in older age. It's called beta amyloid. So it's removed from your brain when you sleep. Okay, and so what are the dangers of sleep?
Of not getting enough sleep.
Of not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
So let me say it from the very get-go. So quality of sleep is just as important as quantity of sleep, just as important as timing of sleep.
Okay, so 3 things: timing, quality, quantity. Okay.
Yes. So you might sleep for the right amount of time, but they're at the wrong time.
And the wrong quality.
And the wrong quality altogether.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you asked about night shift persons. So what you do with night shift, as you keep awake during the night, you are going against the grain of your circadian rhythm and your homeostasis. Then you get to sleep during the day. So what you're telling your body is that no, we've changed things. There's a new sheriff in town. We don't sleep around this time. And so your body tries to adjust to your new timing. But remember, those chemicals work with, like the melatonin works with light. So and even if you turn off the lights in the room, it's not as good as what nature has provided. Okay. And so now what you're going to find is that you will struggle to sleep during the day. If you've worked at night, you know that even when you sleep during the day, you'll be feeling sleepy, but you struggle to sleep.
So I can attest to that.
So when you sleep, you're not really going into your REM sleep. You're just going into mostly the N1, and then you don't go even to the. You can go through REM a bit. You don't go through the N3, the deep sleep that gives you the much needed rest.
Because after night shift, and I try to sleep, I'll be asleep, but I'll be hearing voices. I'll be so aware of what's happening in my surroundings.
Yes, you're still rousable.
Yeah.
And so you don't get, so you can even sleep for 9-10 hours, but you're not really getting to you're not really getting the gist of sleep.
Yeah.
You're not getting the benefit of it.
Yeah. I actually came across something, I think it was a professor who was saying that people who do the graveyard shift, like we have a few years knocked off our lifespan.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's
very scary.
Yeah, it is. And so they fail to sleep during the day properly, and conversely at night they struggle to keep awake, because at night the body knows, this is the right time
to sleep.
That was a phony, this is the real deal.
Yeah.
And so now it's forcing you to sleep. And I know a lot of students do this, a lot of university.
Breaking the night.
Yes.
Oh, and I was one of those.
So most of us will say, look, I'll crack the night, break the night during the week, then I'll binge sleep over the weekend. And we have this notion that I can make up for lost sleep. I'll say no, a big no, and a small yes. Yes, you can recover some of your alertness. You can get back some of your alertness and everything.
Yeah.
But you would have disturbed your metabolic balance. Okay, which will outlive your regained alertness. Okay, you would have disturbed even your memory, your cognition. And in fact, someone says, look, the sleep you sleep after you do some work, some study, is worth more than even the sleep you slept before you did the study. So,
okay, how is that?
What I'm really saying is that, look, when you sleep, you are packaging what happened, the stimuli. Okay? The previous sleep will give you alertness to understand what's going on, but the following sleep will help package and
like consolidate
everything.
So you need both.
Okay? And really, me saying it's better than the previous sleep is just emphasizing the importance that whatever you'd have gained may be lost if you don't actually get the second sleep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And yeah, so now these are the cons. The cons are the negatives, yeah?
Yeah.
Pros, cons. Okay, yeah, the cons. So you become emotionally labile.
Just moody.
Oh, sasuka fie. You know?
Yeah.
My friends will say, no, sasa.
Now, sasa.
So maybe now sasa fie. You know, you're just on the edge. Like if anyone just touches you a bit, like
very irritable.
It's like, a hand grenade. It's already almost almost
you removed the pin already.
Yeah, you almost removed the pin there. And you, of course, you lose concentration,
Mm-hmm.
and your that's also very bad if you're a driver, because a good number of accidents, whether we investigate them or not, some of them are actually can be attributed to lack of sleep deprivation.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that they stopped public vehicles from moving beyond 21 hours and that they start moving at 04,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yes, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that
so
that's a
people are
good
sleep
move.
deprived. Someone has not slept and they're driving, and there's just a split second. You need a fraction of a second to make decisions when you're on the road.
Yeah, true.
And if that fraction has been reduced to a minute, to
Yeah.
it could be the telling between you surviving and you veering off road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so also it it gives you a state of insulin resistance. you know when you don't sleep, you get a bit of what called insulin resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that even your ability to uptake the sugars is reduced, so you tend to have almost a diabetic state in the long run, okay, if you're sleep deficient. Okay, um particularly even for people that tend to suffer with insomnia. Okay, so there's others, it's a milder form, like acute or short-term insomnia. Others, it's a long-term, especially if it goes beyond 3 months. Yeah, so you tend to have a more of a diabetic state, and that is not good. It causes dysregulation to your body, and when you don't sleep, it also increases your appetite. Well, you may use it for your advantage, but usually it increases your appetite,
But
and it wants you to, so there's a hormone called ghrelin. I hope I pronounce it correctly. Ghrelin.
yeah,
Ghrelin. So that
yeah,
it makes well, really boosts your appetite.
yes, it's the same. I
Yeah.
think I spoke about this hormone. It's the same hormone that it kind of lets you know what time to eat. So like if you eat at 9 in the morning, that that hormone is going to be elevated at 9, and it will tell you that it's time to eat. And if
Yeah.
you don't eat, it reduces, and
Yeah.
then your hunger kind of goes. Yeah.
Yeah. And so apart from that, funny enough, it usually, such people who are sleep deprived, they don't eat in the morning. They'll start eating. They usually binge eat usually at night.
Why do are you just shooting at me at this point?
So
Talk to me directly. Don't talk to me through the corners.
well, I'm talking to you, myself, and the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so people tend to become obese, especially if they fulfill the craving for eating.
Yeah.
And so now it's a vicious cycle, because as they do that, they may get into a state of insomnia, and sometimes they fail to reverse it. So others would opt to find alternatives to make them sleep. Now, especially at the point when they realize they need to sleep, they want to find a curative for their sleep deprivation. And so others tend to medication. So, well, you can visit your health practitioner and they'll advise. But usually first you want to do non-medical. But people want quick fixes, so they'll get some pills and drink them. Others would just self-prescribe a pint of alcohol, wine, and the like. So it's interesting. Most people run to alcohol to make them sleep.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, alcohol does not make your sleep better. So it may actually make you sleep faster, but it may not. So you'll be swimming in the light sleep. You sleep faster, but you'll be swimming in the what?
The light
You
sleep.
never get the deep sleep that you need to recuperate for the following day. Okay. So you stay so your quality of sleep is impaired. Okay. And in fact, what's been found is that whilst people want to take alcohol to sleep better and faster, sometimes the alcohol keeps them on a little longer. In fact, they fall into the trap of binge drinking to the point that they forget that they should sleep by 9 p.m. or whatever. They might end up sleeping at 01, and yet they wanted to sleep early. And when they sleep even at 01, they will be in a light phase, mostly in the N1. If they dive, maybe N2 and a bit of REM here, rarely in the N3 phase. And similarly, so as I've said, being sleep deprived can actually lead you to abuse alcohol. Now, funny enough, abusing alcohol can make you sleep deprived.
So it's like, what came first, the egg or the chicken?
Yeah.
Wow.
And same thing with the smoking. So the nicotine also dampens those hormones that make you, sleep. And so even in a similar way, you're always in the light sleep. And particularly, most people smoke early in the morning and late at night. Okay, let me take my last puff, my last, sniff, whatever you call it. Because when they sleep, when you sleep, you are nicotine deprived because it's the longest time. The levels of nicotine are the lowest when you're sleeping because, you haven't been smoking throughout the day. So the first thing they want to do when they wake up is to do a loading dose.
Yeah, a loading dose.
And sometimes the craving for nicotine may make them not even sleep itself.
They'll be thinking about the nicotine while they're sleeping.
Yeah, so really their body really is craving nicotine. They might even wake up earlier than
usual just to smoke.
did. And usually, so their sleep is fragmented, alcohol, and it's even caffeine. So caffeine blocks your adenosine. Your adenosine is what makes you
feel sleepy.
So I think there's a time I was in school and they told us there's some medications, heart failure, where they would give, you're just your last resort. Smacking a horse against resistance. Like there's no way, there's a wall fence and you're smacking it, you want it
to go
through the fence, And so caffeine sometimes, so what caffeine it just removes that voice that tells the body it's time to sleep. So it does not suddenly just make your body strong and it just removes that thing that tells you need to sleep. Because adenosine is for homeostasis. Homeostasis that tells you, okay, you're tired, you need to sleep. So you remove that thing so your body doesn't know it's tired. But it's tired, but it doesn't know. And so what happens, you'll be awake, until probably your body's too tired that even when you're active, you just have to sleep.
Yeah, there's a caffeine condition actually. Like when you take too much caffeine, then it now starts making you feel sick.
Yeah.
Like you start feeling very weak, very, like you can't function.
Yeah.
Until like you get rid of the caffeine in your system, then you get back to normal.
Yeah, it's like saying, no, there's something rotting in the fridge, and then someone just close the fridge.
Yeah,
it's okay, but it will continue rotting inside.
And so I was one of those who I literally used to go to school with a case of Red Bull.
Okay.
And I didn't understand what was making me feel so sick, because I would have like a Red Bull at night.
Yeah.
Then the following day I would have another Red Bull at night just to help me study through the night. Then on the third day I'd feel sick, and it took me a very long time to actually realize that.
Okay.
And I would also get palpitations. My heart would just be racing. Could literally feel my heart pounding. And it took me a whole year to figure out that it was actually because of the energy drinks and the coffee. And so now I don't like coffee. I avoid coffee as much as I can, only when I need to stay awake, like after a night shift maybe.
Oh yeah.
Kind of helps me, but coffee, energy drinks, no. I learned my lesson from those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, if you want to improve your memory, you need to sleep. If you want to improve your social acumen, really, you need to sleep.
If you want to reduce your mood swings,
You want to reduce your mood swings.
you need to sleep.
You need to sleep.
Even like things like libido,
Yeah.
actually. If you don't get enough sleep, your libido just starts dropping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, there's more to gain from sleep. And really, look, we used to sleep way back because we had no lights. So it gets dark. You'll be telling stories. Our grandmas would start telling stories until you just all fall asleep. Probably sleep by 20, 21, yeah.
And like proper sleep.
Yeah, and you're flat out dead.
Yeah.
But now we have this 24/7 work life.
Yeah.
And you are always in a working mood, and you don't get enough rest. I've had friends where they'll say, look, I never see my dad because when I wake up he's gone for work. The time I'm sleeping is still at work.
Yeah.
And like, okay, so do you even know your dad? They're like, no, I only talk to him on phone sometimes, and then you'll be like, make it quick.
Oh. Wow.
And even the weekends, because back then weekends were like, these are, so sometimes even because of the new work-life balance,
Yeah.
it affects even our social connections. Yeah. And so really, if you're struggling with getting around in the day to day, just try to you can schedule your sleep really.
Yeah.
Like, be deliberate about just, that people that don't know when they should sleep, like, sleep will find me wherever.
But I have an alarm for sleep, but I rarely follow it.
My phone actually has got a suggestion. It says, no, it always reminds me, suggest sleep by 10 p.m. and wake up by 7. Like, well, I've never really used that. In fact, I must confess, I used to sleep quite late myself. But I've made deliberate changes to move my sleeping time a bit earlier so that probably by 10 p.m. I should be asleep.
I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
But my phone, my TV, Netflix, and my phone.
Oh, those are some of the things that we need even just to before.
My laptop. So
Yeah.
I use my phone usually. I'll be maybe watching a podcast,
Yeah.
listening to music, maybe I'll be on social media. My TV will be watching a movie, especially on Netflix.
Okay.
Then my laptop will be for studying.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know that blue light is not good for sleep, especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
So at least you're supposed to put down those gadgets like maybe 30 minutes before you sleep, right? So now I'm trying to use like hard copy books to see if that helps.
Okay.
And I'm trying to be in a habit to stop looking at my phone maybe like at 9, maybe at 21, so that by 22 I should be asleep.
Well, you have to start from somewhere.
But also another thing is I eat late.
The red flag.
Yeah, I eat late. Sometimes I forget to eat.
Okay.
And then when it's time to sleep, then I remember, oh, I actually haven't eaten.
Then you go and eat.
Then I go and eat. And then after I eat,
you can't sleep.
Then I can't sleep. Then I stay up longer. So, what are some of the tips to getting quality sleep, or for those who are struggling with insomnia? Like, what are some of the things that they can do, like non-medical things that they can do?
Yeah, so number one, like I already said, schedule your time. I was told if it's not written, it has not been done.
Like you write that I'm about to sleep.
Now here I'll be a bit loose with that. So I'll simply say, look, at least have it at the back of your mind that this is my schedule. Okay? No, so that if you find yourself, oh, I'm visiting John, I'm at Priscilla's place, and it's almost 21, 22, and my sleep time is 10, I should be ready to say, oh, it was nice meeting you, but I think I need to run.
Sometimes at 21, that's when things are going down, and then you have to say bye. It's not like the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, it may not be, but if you respect your schedule, you know that they are.
Yeah.
Make them as your own non-negotiables, unless you really have to be there at that particular time.
Yeah, it requires discipline.
Yeah, and choose a quiet room. Quiet room. Your bedroom should be a quiet place.
Yeah.
And for some, they prefer to have a bit of white noise, they call. Maybe rain sounds in the background, if you can download those rain sounds. Others would want a fan blowing. Because really when you're sleeping, your temperature tends to go down a little. So if a room is very hot, even sleeping will be a bit tricky. You need to, and then you can lower the ambient temperature. You can use a fan. Yeah, it's right in hot season. Yeah, and you can use a shield, iPad.
Oh.
Well, really,
I don't
shield.
know what is those called, but I know them.
Face mask, what are they called? Okay, I call them iPads, I call them eye shields. Okay, sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are close.
Oh my god, I can't remember the.
Yeah, you can use those
Yeah.
to keep some light out. And please, when you're sleeping on the bed, if you're not sleeping, don't be in the bed. Like if your intention is not to sleep, don't be in the bed. Be in the chair, be in the sofa, wherever, but not in the bed. Because if you're in the bed and you're reading and you are likely to stay in that position longer than if you're on the bed, you're on the chair and studying. You're more likely to realize I need to sleep than when you're in the bed. In the bed, you get a false sense of, oh, I'm sleeping. Oh, I'm lying.
Yeah, that's true.
So you need to separate your sleep time from your wake time.
Yeah, because there's sometimes when I'll be in bed lying down, 1 minute it's 21, the next minute it's like 01. I'm like, oh my god, I need to sleep.
Yes, exactly. You do not want to eat late. You need to eat. If you can eat by 6, 7, latest 20 maybe p.m., that would be better.
Yeah.
If you want, you can even do a bit of a jog, but of course not too close to your sleep time. Maybe an hour, 2 hours, 30. By 18 hours, 17 hours, you do a bit of a jog. Your body feels the need to rest quicker. Take a cold shower if you can. Okay, that also help you cool down and makes it easier for you to sleep. And do not come with any gadgets nearby. If you can, charge your phones in a separate room or far away where you have to wake up. It's easy. Most of us have got a socket just at the bedside, then you plug it, or if not, we'll get an adapter so that we sleep just right next to the phone. And when you just hear that clinging sound of the phone, we are always ready to wake up and see who's liked my post, who's done what, who's texted me, and want to reply. So, but if it's far away, you feel lazy to wake up. That's why when the sleep is really going down well, and once you get that, your body just gets used to it. You will not struggle to wake up. People wake up in the morning and they feel like they've been working in someone's field.
I swear. But you know that actually they say that it's witchcraft. That one of the witches, they got your body, like you thought you're sleeping, but actually got your body and you were in a farm somewhere working. And that's why you feel so tired.
Well, really, we bear a lot of false witness for those guys. Well, maybe the others would, but the majority, really, we just don't do a good job. We don't give ourselves enough good quality sleep. So we wake up very tired.
Yeah. I also read somewhere that having a dark room helps, like sleeping in a very dark room.
Yes, exactly.
Like you have sun blocking curtains, just a dark room, a dark, cool room. So that really helps. And then also avoiding caffeine at least 6 hours before. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all good pointers. So remember, next time you're feeling edgy, just things are just going haywire, it's about time you needed a sleep vacation.
Yeah. A nap's important, like during the day, in between naps. Like maybe you take a nap around lunch.
So really,
Because sometimes I feel like when I take a nap, like it makes me feel worse, like more fatigued.
exactly. I always tell my friends, like, oh, when I sleep in the afternoon, I feel tired afterwards.
Yeah. Like I can't function.
So you have almost gone against your circadian rhythm. However, I say that with a pinch of salt. There is a point again where even your adenosine as well does kind of increase a bit. It's around late afternoon, 15, 16, almost letting you know that it's about to be evening. So there's a tendency around people in offices tend to be a bit drowsy around 15. Of course, then Shima also did its thing. But around that time, people do take if you take a nap, let it be a short nap, 15, 20 minutes. If you prolong it, you wake up even more tired than you.
Maybe that's the problem, because when I say I'm napping, it's like 1 hour.
Yeah, there should really be power naps, like very quick, quick
just
fix.
like to rejuvenate you a little bit.
Because if you take them too often again, it will affect your actual sleep at night.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make them too, but I mean, it's not cast in stone. You can take quick, short naps.
Okay.
Yeah, just to try if you've been struggling with keeping your eyes open. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. Is there something that you thought that I would ask you that I haven't asked? Because I think that
Okay.
we've touched on a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I think this is something that we should really continue talking about, because sleep is really underrated. And I always think to myself that I think I don't know, it's just my theory that I feel like people of low socioeconomic status even have less sleep than people who are doing better in life, because someone who is like a manual waker, they have to wake up like at 4 and they have to start work early, they sleep late. But like people who are doing a little better, they go for work 8, 16, they're out.
Well,
I don't know, that's just my theory. Like,
that may be true in one sense, but really most people who work the what you call the 9 to 5 kind of work, or is it 5 to 9 type of work, the white collar jobs and the few blue collar jobs, really the challenge with them is that even when they knock off, they carry the work with them home. Big chunk of them. You've knocked off, but you still carried your work. You're still taking phone calls. You're still doing typing things that you didn't finish up. Still finding out if that thing went this thing.
at least you're making more money.
Yes, and what we call the guys on the ground really doing this manual work, the hand labor. Unless they're doing shifted work, but most of them that are just knocking off by 17 usually they're so tired they just go straight up to sleep. So the advantage they may have is that they tend to sleep early because they're very tired. So they sleep by 21 hours. So really, within that dark spectrum, even if he wakes up at 05, that's still okay, 04, you've still cut your good 7, 8 hours. Okay. In fact, you do not want to sleep beyond midnight, because that deep sleep usually you want to experience it just before midnight.
No, I still sleep after midnight.
Usually sleeping after midnight, you may require a bit more sleep than you would if you slept earlier. Okay. So I think those are a few caveats to that.
Yeah.
You know, because the rich fail to sleep because they're worried whether the money will still be there tomorrow. The poor sometimes fail to sleep because they're not sure what they'll eat tomorrow. So
Yeah.
it's a whole mix in there. So you
There's
just
no
have to decide,
balancing.
look, problems will always be there. I need to sleep.
I need to sleep. Like,
Yeah,
we'll fix them tomorrow.
let's
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
don't bring tomorrow into today. Like, you have 2 days in one day, and others bring yesterday and tomorrow. 3 days in one day. No. Take one day as it comes. Sleep. You know, like people say, look, if you've got problems, pressure, eat. I'm saying, if you've got problems, pressure, sleep.
No, we get that. Thank you so much for joining us today. And by the way, we're both members of the Zivani Foundation, a foundation that is dedicated to improving health literacy. Yeah. I want to say in Zambia, but I'm hoping that
Goes
you know,
beyond
like like we go we go beyond.
The waves can be carried beyond borders, beyond seas.
Yes, so I hope people continue supporting us as we embark on this journey. And please make sure that you get enough sleep. Yeah. Sleep by 10 p.m. and then you wake up at 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And make sure you use some of these tips that we've shared to avoid caffeine, avoid eating late. Have like a schedule before you sleep, huh? Like, yeah. Have something you do before you sleep that kind of tells your brain that, okay, now it's time to sleep. Yeah, sleep in a dark, cool room. Yeah, some of those things will help you reduce your mood swings, irritability, improve your libido, and all that. Yeah. So, any last words?
Really, what can I say? Sleep.
Thank you so much. It was nice having you, Oscar.
Thank you. My
Bye,
pleasure.
guys.
Bye.